everybody, and welcome to Dynamic GT League's Teams with a Twist series for race 7 of 9 from the Croix circuit. And as we get ready to take a look at the standings, Ray joins us on commentary. I hope you're well, Ray.
Yeah, I'm doing well, but not as well as our pal.
Well, that is true. He's definitely on course to be a champion, although in second place, we've got a three-way tie. Rich, Blues, Jimmy and Nelly. Maybe, just maybe, one of them might be able to catch Art Pal. Well, let's put it this way. Art Pal can't go thinking that this is in the bag, that's for certain. As we take a quick look now at the team's standings, with the top team being Art Pal and Twilight. Twilight, though, not racing today. Power Trips in second place, that's Rich Blues and SGP. Trusting the Speed is Jimmy and Demon R. And then who's in the BMWs?
Sorry, the what? The BMW Fatlags?
Yeah.
That's BMW Jason and Critical.
That it is.
And then Rod on your Nelly is Nelly and Conrad, and I can't remember the other teams.
You can't remember your own team name. Hey Raker and the Baby Maker is SRI and Hey, and then we've got the Ghost Racer, which is Bob.
Who the hell say?
Well, that's a good question. Critical, though, taking pole position here at Croix. Art Pal in second place with Jimmy in third.
Fourth, Nelly, and fifth, Rich Blues, and then sixth, Gary, and then we've got Conrad, Group 4, first bowler, and then Steve F1, Demon R, SRI, and SGP.
Yep, so a few drivers unable to make the race today. Jason, Twilight, and Bob. Hey, and someone else, I'm sure. 4 lights, though. 5 lights away. There you go. Let's see if Critical can hold on to that lead down into turn 1. Art Pal, that a blind River Star, and takes the lead straight away. That's it. Critical's race is over.
Yeah, I know. 3 wide. Oh, careful, guys. They've managed to keep it. Oh, somebody's on the grass. I heard a bit of tyre squeal.
Gary may have got a little bit wide. Actually, might have been Rich, sorry, in the Dodge Viper. Okay, so Critical then dropping down into second place. He would have got the bonus point for pole position as Art Pal got a bit of a wobble. This left-hander over the crest of the hill. Just see it's a tricky little corner to get the car slowed down, but then we're into a downhill, very quick section. A bit faster in the Group 4s than it is in the Group 3s, though, because of the tyres and the grip in the Group 4s. So we've got them, and the driver's going to watch out for that barrier there.
You also got to watch that bump in the lead up onto the bridge. There's a bump just on the lead up to the bridge that can unsettle the car pretty badly.
Absolutely, and yeah, depending on which car you're in, might depend on how well your car copes with the bump. Okay, now we've got a downhill right-hander, a corner that really the drivers aren't going to want to take too much of a tight line into it, because if you do, you run wide like Jimmy did there, and on the back cam, Rich Blues has got a run on no one. It wasn't Rich Blues.
You got him.
Yes, it would have been. It would have been Gary on Conrad. Yeah, that's right. Critical's looking to make a move on Art Pal down into the hairpin. In the back of the long back straight. Can he get it done on the exit? Rich.
About tight.
Yeah, Rich ended up deep at the hairpin there. He's in the gravel, dropped down to the back, I think. It's on the pack. I'm not looking like Conrad looking back at Steve F1 as well. I thought he was going wide into the barrier.
Critical's got a good run here. Art Pal's going to have to go defensive. Critical trying to get the switch back. He's going for it. Oh, a bit of wiggle.
Absolutely. Big bit of wiggle there. Critical looks like he's got the pace at the moment. He might look at trying to make a move into 1. I don't think it's really on though. But Art Pal misses the apex by a mile. But manages to hold. I wonder if Art Pal was expecting a dive bomb.
I think he just took a wee bit sort of line, kept his speed up compared to Critical going that little bit slower. Only able to see in the lap times if it's hampered, but no, about second laps, you know,
Yeah.
it's going to be purple sectors. We'll wait till lap 3 or 4 and see who's doing what. Crickle on that bump, curb kind of bounced them a little.
Yeah, and the bump just there was just some scar though. Hopefully we will see some cars go around that corner a little clearer to show that bump. As it is right in a nasty little place. Just to let you know, Ray, as well, the volume's just gone down a little bit as well. So I was going to say speak up a bit, but you'll end up doing some stupid like shouting.
That's what I'm doing. Shout. Can you
Yeah.
hear me?
No, I can't hear you. Okay, so Pal, oh, he's wide into the barrier. Manages to keep his speed up a little bit though on the pack cam. Looks like we've got Conrad. No, that's now Jimmy with Nelly closing in on him. So they must have got a little bit spread out on that opening lap. Can't say I really was looking at them. I was more watching Pal and Critical here. But yeah, I'll tell you what, it's good to see that for another race, Pal is being challenged. He's not being allowed to just run away, is he?
And he's not getting the opportunity to run away.
Absolutely. Now, with the Group 3s, I don't know if they're going to struggle with tyre wear in this race. I would doubt it very much. The Group 4s, they may be able to get to the ends on the pack cams. That Rich Blues just had a massive wobble. I think it was. It might have been SGP as well, though.
Yeah, I think it maybe setting them fanning about with my microphone.
No problem, as long as you don't go sticking it in your fanny, that's absolutely fine. So this is Jimmy on the back of Nelly, so I missed it. Nelly got ahead of Jimmy as Conrad, his teammate, behind Formula Gary with SRI and Rich Blues trying to make a move up the hill. So Rich trying to recover from his off at the hairpin a lap or so ago, and he's going to be closing in on Formula Gary. But as I mentioned, this time left-hander, uphill, no grip. The Group 3s really struggle through there, so I'm just surprised to see them just close in on them, especially down this hill as well. If a driver takes the tight line like Gary and Rich are, they're going to be very slow at this point, and that's why the Group 4s really closed in. And let's see if we can find that bump. Yep, that one. Yeah, that one.
Is that better?
It sounds about the same-ish. It's all right. So we'll carry on. Okay, Rich Blues trying to make a move on Gary over the bridge. Has he got it done? No, he's gone for a bit of a switch back. Yes, he has, but he's got a wobble on. Briefing, boys. On that tighter line, see if he understeers. He's managed to leave space and slots in front of SRI, and Steve F1 will get out to dry. Probably a bit too far back to get slipstream, aren't they? Gary though, he's got slipstream. Yeah, Gary, how do you mean more, man? You got something slipstream. Obviously you don't sound anything like Roger Moore after he's had a stroke, but there you go. Okay, so let's see how Richie Gary gets through the S's. Oh dear. Oh, Gary, that's a big slide sideways. The thing is though, what Roger Moore usually says after he's had a stroke is, wipe that up, darling.
Oh Jesus! What the hell, yeah. That's not right.
Well, it's not the worst joke I've ever told.
That's true, that's true.
Yeah. Okay, what's going on here then, Ray?
I don't know, I pressed pause by a second, so I'm a second behind.
Well, okay. That's alright, you can still tell us what's going on.
We'll get Conrad and somebody fighting in Pack Cam, and we've got Critical and Pal with each other there now. I missed overtake.
Yeah, Critical ahead of Pal is what you just missed when you press pause and carried on. Okay, let's see. Critical had a little wobble on the bump. Pal's dropped back a little bit. To be honest, I wasn't really looking at what happened with the overtake either. Okay, so on the pack cam, let's look at the Group 4s, heading on to the bridge. And again, might see the wobble from a few of the guys there. Is that Rich Blues coming past them actually? No, that's SGP. Trying to... Oh, Jimmy's into the barrier on the back cap.
Yeah, I just seen that Jimmy hitting the barrier, and I wonder if that pal's going to get a good run out of here. I mean, hopefully he does. It brings the battle back to critical. That way he can be seen on the main screen for a bit more.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so what we've got here is on board with Steve F1. If we have a look at the tyre wear on lap 4 of 19, it's not extreme, so looks of it, they should be okay. And interestingly, Conrod's not that far behind Rich. I think Rich Blues has had a bit of a bad entry onto this back straight, and it's giving Conrod. Oh, Conrod just got a mega boost there by Steve F1. Oh, and that 3 wide battle.
Yeah, maybe Rich was taking like the tighter line, and that's what slowed him down coming. We'll keep an eye on his line if he's still on the main screen. And through that corner was that Steve F1 and Rich? Jesus.
No, it's SGP. And
What's
Steve
that?
F1. Yeah. Oh, and SGP's just edged Demon R into the wall as well, so again a little bit feisty. Just
Is that unfair overtake?
Well, yeah, it could well be. Let's see what's SGP's still ahead, as that's formally Gary closing in on the background, or in the background, making his way up. Now, an interesting thought here, Ray. Formula Gary is just about to close in on the back of his teammate. Given how close this battle is it worth Formula Gary trying to perhaps bump draft his teammate and give me over the ball?
That was a good save.
It was, wasn't it? Even Peter Shilton would have been pleased with that one. Connor and SRI both having a bit of a wiggle over the bump. But yes, back to my point. Does Gary risk doing this?
I don't know what their team orders are. They've got multi-21 going on or what, you know?
Maybe it's just Jag.
SRI's got ahead of Conrad.
Yes, he has. Oh, Conrad.
Rich is a bit tight as well as SRI, so these two, Conrad and Steve F1 might be on by the end of the straight here.
Well, I think Steve F1's on him already, because Gary just gave him a right good bump draft. Now, this is a good point to do it, but I do think for Gary now, if he could get ahead and move away, rather than trying to bump draft through anything through these S's, as Steve F1, I thought it was going a bit deep, and I think Conrad has actually just overtaken Gary. Gary
went deep. This is Steve F1, yeah.
Yes.
Gary went deep. That's what it was, because he was side by side with SRI.
Interesting.
Oh, Steve F1 was going to hit the wall there. He was a mile away from the apex. But do you really want to hit the apex on that corner? That's.
So I think I've just seen maybe SGP just edge. SRI into the barrier. I think he's let it back through. Oh, big slide sideways. I was just thinking, Ray, if you want to get back on track with the time, I can send you a bit further into the video and count you down to it if you want.
Okay, I'll go to...
On the YouTube timestamp, if you go to about 14:30, I can count you down to that as Art is trying to recover. Let me know if you do get to that time.
14:32.
Okay, so we are at 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32. As Demon R here all over the back of SRI, and Conrad having that little wobble, and SRI trying to pull her out from behind Conrad. Let's kind of open the door for Demon R's Steve F1. Obviously with a lot going on, but I don't really know exactly what's happened.
Demon R's got the inside line, coming off the bridge there. Let's see, SRI's taking that tight line again.
Yeah, that he is. I think it was that.
Oh, and he's... Yeah, is that Gary or Steve? Oh, it's
Steve F1, yeah, Gary was slightly further ahead, but Gary got wide and into the barrier, so that'll slow him down a little bit. So let's see, yeah, so where is... So that is Steve F1 behind SRI. Yeah, that's a little confusing, isn't it?
In front of Conrad.
Yes.
There he's there.
Yes, he is.
So
right.
he had the speed. He had the speed to stay ahead on the straight.
Yeah. Now it'd be interesting how Rich and Gary get on through this sector. It's where they seem to have been struggling the most so far. The S's, it's quite easy to do in the Group 4s. Gary though, it's got a bit wide. Conrad's made the move on him, and Demon R's got a penalty.
Well, I don't know. I didn't see where that came from. Was it the first part of the double left-hander there?
I think it was. It did look like he may have took a bit too much curve there. We've got Formula Gary trying to get ahead of SRI. Let's see, there won't be any teammate bump drafting because Steve F1 is behind.
Yeah, he wants to try and get up the road and catch up the Rich Blues and bring the fight the Rich Blues. I can't remember where Gary was in the standings though. Steve F1 on the back of Demon R.
Yep.
He was looking.
Formula Gary, I think, is going to pay his last of the Group 3s, and I think he's in about 7th place overall, with SGP and SRI just ahead of him. Oh! Conrad and Demon R's come together and have a little party. Demon R hard in the barrier there.
Yeah, he found the bar.
Yeah, and he left all on his own. He left all on his own, and when he looks at himself, all he sees is tits. Okay, look, it's on there. Look, tits on his nose and on his arse. Hang on.
It's alright, still taking that tighter line for some reason.
Maybe trying to
everybody else.
Or maybe trying to defend it, or maybe the Merc might prefer that line. One thing that is interesting though, Ray, is the Group 4s are keeping up with Rich and Gary. How do you explain that?
Oh, Gary and Rich don't really get much practice to feel the handling of the cars. The Group 3s are a wee bit lively to handle.
Whoa! Arpal, sorry, on the back up. Arpal has spun around by the pit lane, and Nelly has come past him. Oh!
Somebody in the pits?
Yeah.
Jimmy?
Yeah. Only saw that in the distance. As on the pack cam, there's a mulligans getting passed by Conrad. That must be Rich Blues because he's pulling back past him quite easily.
Yeah, so the Group 3s are a bit more livelier to handle compared to the Group 4s on the softer tyres, so Gary and Rich don't get a lot of practice time. So they kind of find out the track on the night that the joining list, Rich has managed to be able to do some practice.
There is another feature to it as well.
They're on pad. They're not on pads.
No, all of the Group 4s will always have boost until they get to within a second of, the last of the Group 3s. Unless one of the Group 3s drops behind them. Oh, like that! Rich Blues is in the back!
Oh, yeah. Has he collected them the...
I think he might have done. I think I saw a big cloud of smoke. The cameramen haven't done us much favours there. Demon R's dropped back as well, so I think it may have collected Demon R in that as well. Okay, so Art Powell close back in on Jimmy. So yeah, all of the Group 4s getting the boost all of the time. It's helping them keep up. Add that to everything that you mentioned, you're absolutely right. That's what's keeping the gap a little closer. So as Rich and Gary get more into this race and into the sort of knowing the track a bit, they may be able to just open that gap up a bit. They're definitely more than capable of breaking away from the Group 4s. Although I think a Group 4 with a clear track and boost could potentially do well. Let's see. Oh, that's Formula Gary who's done a 209. That would have been when he had boost when he dropped back. Yeah, so I think Group 4s could do about a 212, which is a couple of seconds faster than a Group 3 with no boost. As Steve F1 tags the barrier and SGP tags the barrier. Or was it Rich? It was Rich.
Was it Rich? He's trying to come
Oh,
somebody's saying with Steve F1.
Yeah.
Is that Steve F1? Yeah, it is.
Was,
Now
yeah.
Gary's giving him a blood draft, so just watch Gary, don't touch him when he turn 1.
Gary hasn't, but Rich Blues has made the move into turn 1. Steve F1 trying to come back at him now. Was on the main street.
Sonny Chris.
Oh dear. Pal making the move on Jimmy down the hill. Jimmy taking that nice wide line. Look at the difference in lines it will give them both here. That's a beautiful bit of driving from Jimmy. Pal's going to miss the apex by a mile. Just misses the ball. That all came from being on that tighter line on the way in. He's managed it perfectly. And I'm guessing that's kind of what Rich did, but didn't get as over to the right as he needed over the bridge. As Steve F1 as they wobble on that bump, and Rich and Gary once again can try and break away a little bit here.
You know what they need at that bridge? Just a camera takes a picture of how close people get to that barrier without touching it.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome. Oh, Rich!
Yeah, it was.
Sure, it was Rich.
It was, yeah, and he's wide as well.
It's going to be on the marbles, it's going to feel like shite.
I think
yeah,
I think him and Gary just bumped the doors a little bit. As Jimmy has been dropped a little bit by Pal, and while they've been doing that, we've got Steve F1 and David R and SRI battling here, but Critical, just crossing the start-finish line now, has got quite the gap over Nelly in second place. As David R goes tight into the hairpin, SRI follows him. Steve F1 is going to try to do a switch back or go around the outside of SRI, and then to the S. So let's see if Rich and Gary can get through there without any dramas. And let's see if these three can get through there without any dramas. Steve got sideways. Steve got through.
No, he's still behind.
He got through you.
He was already through before the...
Oh yeah, he was, yes, sorry, my bad. Okay, Conrad heading to the pits, and I do believe SGP pitted about 4 or 5 laps ago, so he's gone for a fresh set of tyres. Now, as I mentioned earlier on, I don't think the Group 4s need the tyres, but if they can get the boost to catch back up, there's no harm in them going for a fresh set of tyres. So yeah, because it could benefit later on. Okay, so what a ball! Pal close to that bridge again on the pack cam.
Oh, 4 wide. It's 23 wide, and then 2 wide, and then single file. Was that Gary? No, that's Steve F1. I thought that was Gary. Yes. That's not.
Yeah, it's Gary behind Steve F1.
Gary must have had that moment then, and that's what's how we went 4 to 3 to 1. Now we've got Gary, he's bumming, Steve F1. Oh, look at the team up there.
Yeah, gets him through nicely there. He's now going to make sure he gets his own car slowed down. And one of the risks as well of giving your teammate a bump draft is, especially from Group 3 to Group 4, is so let's say, for example, down this next straight, Gary bump drafts Steve F1. Steve F1 could potentially be going, what, 20 mile an hour faster? That will change how his car and when his car will need to brake for the hairpin. So it does come with a bit of a risk. But on this occasion, Gary doesn't do it.
Yeah, I think he's went, I'll give you one, let me go and catch up Rich. put Rich under pressure, get him to make a mistake, and then come back and help you possibly. And he's so out that corner, the group fours are on him.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, one thing I do know is the Group 3s are very slippery around this particular track. As I mentioned before, the S's here is where Rich and Gary seem to have been struggling the most. As I do not fly around them. So that's SGP side by side with SRI and Steve F1. And through the final corner they go as SRI now peeling off to the pit lane. Sorry, the garage.
The garage. We're in the garage now.
No, we don't. Okay, so Rich has just gone deep at the first corner. That'll compromise him all the way up the hill. Gary, actually, Steve F1 nearly got the move done on him because of Rich getting sideways.
Yeah, we've got Demon R pressure, is it? That's SGP.
It is SGP.
Good to see them get through here, and then it's down this hill. It gets interesting when you're side by side, because if you're outside you've got to take it tighter, if you're out wide you can hold it, but when you come to this bit it might kick you out a wee bit too wide, you need to get on the brakes.
I mean, we had
everybody getting past the bridge there. Is that SGP went into the back of
I think it was, yeah. I think Rich Blues got close to the bridge there. Demon R moved over to avoid an SGP up to the arse end of him. But yeah, I mean, with Steve F1, Demon R and SGP, we saw 3 different lines down the hill. It did allow Demon R to get ahead of SGP. But like I say, depending on which line you're on, depends at which point you've got to be slowing down to make all 3 parts of the corner. I must admit, I do love that sector because there is so many different ways to take it. But yeah, it's a balancing act in a way. Okay, come on, Rich. Come on, Gary. Can you break away from these guys? I mean, do you think Rich and Gary are going to be feeling the pressure of the Group 4s? Maybe that's why they're perhaps not as quick in, like, for example, the hairpin there. Fear of binning it. Because if they do, the Group 4s are on them.
Yeah, that hairpin is a nightmare corner, because you will get it wrong. And
sorry.
Someday,
yeah,
Gary.
Rich and Gary were both wide into that final part of the S's. So once again, that corner, or that section of corners, really is kind of the tricky part for them. I think. Did Rich just give SGP a bump grab then?
That's just the way his car moved. I thought he was about to take the nose off of Steve F1 there. SGP, I think we're struggling to slow it down there.
Yeah, you know what, that would have been from a bump draft then, as I mentioned a lap ago. Carrying that extra speed as Gary's now got past them, Rich Blues have got past them. Steve F1 gets past SGP. So we're now 12 laps into this race. Just to let you know as well that critical, see, it's not critical on the pack cam. I think that is Nelly on the pack cam. Yeah, it is. And he's just got onto the back straight now. So critical has got sort of half of the back straight between himself and Nelly. But actually, looking at the track map, Nelly's got Arpal closing in on him. He's not close yet, but I don't think it'll be long until he is.
Yeah, as we see Gary, Rich Blues here, they might want to bump draft each other and just go away as much as they can.
Well, I think a big key part of it is this corner. If they make an error in this corner, it compromises them all the way down the straight. So Gary did get a bit deep there into the barrier, so it's compromised him. So Rich could make the move, or he could go for doing the bump draft. But what these two really need to do is get through the next corner cleanly, as quick as they can, and then survive the S's. If they can do that, they'll break away. But Rich going for the move up the inside. Has he got it done? I think he has.
And
yeah,
SGP's on Demon R and Steve F1.
Yes, that he has. Okay, so it's all kicking off here. Okay, Rich, Gary, come on, get through this left hand. It's this downhill double left-hander they're struggling with, and they've both got through. Gary was a little
Oh,
while
who's
ago.
that? Steve F1.
Yeah, it was. I think Gary did get wide, but managed to survive it. But Steve F1, yeah, he definitely hit the barrier. But at least,
Conrad's caught up after his pit stop.
yes, that he has. Okay, so let's see. In that case, then it can't be too long until SRI will be closing up. And for anyone wondering how those, I thought Steve F1 was diving then, doing a bit of a Tom Daly, but not on this occasion. Yeah, so whenever the Group 4s are this close to, say, Rich Blues or formerly Gary, they're not going to get the boost, so their lap times will drop. Excuse me, that's what will allow a pitted Group 4 car to catch back up. If Rich and Gary were able to actually break away and pull away, then a Group 4 that pits probably wouldn't be able to catch up, because all of the Group 4s would have boost and would actually go faster, because at this point they're being slowed down. Oh, Gary's into the barrier, manages to survive, or is it tactical?
I don't know, we'll soon see, but he's got Conrad in front, so he doesn't really want to pummel Steve F1. He wants to make sure he doesn't smack him into the corner, which he's done nicely. Oh, Steve F1 with a bit of a slide.
Yeah. All Steve F1 and Gary need to do is kind of get through this corner a bit. Well, actually, you know what? I think Demon R has kind of got in between them. Yes, he has. So if Formula Gary wants to bump draft Steve F1, he's going to have to bump draft Demon R, because Demon R is right there. Yeah, that's
He's
quite
trying,
clever.
He's trying again, wasn't it?
He looked, but it wasn't an opportunity.
Oh, look at this, Nelly. Look at this, that pal on the back of Nelly, as we see, I think, I couldn't see who it was side by side in the back cam, but our pal's going a little bit wide round there.
Yeah, he is, but he's carrying the speed, and I think it was Steve F1 and Demon R that were side by side, and SGP has caught back up now to Conrad. Yes, he has. Okay. So, what can Art Powell do then about Nelly is on the pack cam? It's SGP heading to the pits again. Interesting.
With Gary behind him. Gary's last past him in his straight.
Oh, Powell was very, very close to the wall then on the entry of the bridge.
He's got a good run. No, he got a good run out of there compared to Nelly. Nelly might just been that cautious, make sure he doesn't hit the wall.
Well, it's interesting. I mean, I know I've experienced it before, and I think you've experienced it before. When you've got a car hunting you down, and you can just see that timing gap coming down and down and down. Sometimes you can feel like the more you push to keep that gap, the more the gap comes down. And you might go the other way as Art Pound goes for the move. Oh, a little bit of a touch between the two. Into the hairpin they go. Nelly might be able to get a bit of a switch back here. He's going to try. But I think Art Pound's got the line for the next couple of corners. No.
Not much. Nelly wants to hold it round outside, but he's doing well. He's got back there. I think Gapal just did get the drive off the corner.
I think you're absolutely right, and it's probably because he was on that tighter line through the hairpin, as Conrad may have just taken, no, Nelly, sorry. Yeah, he has taken too much curb at the final corner. Picks up a half-second penalty. So Art Power having a look into turn one. He's up alongside. Get this move done. Nelly's now going to need to try and keep it calm and see if he can. Oh no, he's had a bit of a wobble. And back he drops.
I know SRI's joined the pack in the pack cam. There he is. Magical.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, and yeah, closing in on Conrad. As that's formally SRI's actually looking for a move up the inside. And he's done the move up the inside, as formerly Gary is now behind Rich Blues once again. Okay, on pack up, that's Sarpal and Nelly. Sarpal's wide! He's teasing that barrier, isn't he?
Yeah, oh, would you prefer to be the hunter or the prey?
I'd always prefer to be the hunter. I'd prefer to be the one putting the
Just in
pressure
case you
on.
get a munter.
Well, yeah, absolutely. Yes. Okay, that's Conrod's got a little bit wide, and that's allowed Demon R through, and maybe SRI through as well. I don't know if SRI's already ahead. But yeah, I mean, I would always prefer. Well, it depends. I'd prefer to be out front with a big gap and someone trying to hunt me down. I'm happy with that. Oh, Demon R, big wobble! May just graze the barrier. But if it's close, then I'd rather be the one doing the hunting, because you're the one that's putting the pressure on, rather than soaking the pressure up. So yeah, that's. What about yourself?
I think hunting somebody down, especially if they're not that far. Oh, was it a touch from SRI? He's pulled over. SRI, he might have felt that he touched Conrad there. Yeah, especially if you can see them or you're not that too far away, because you'll be watching for their braking points and whatnot. You'll be learning what they can, what they're doing, and then sometimes that can help you because your braking point might be different, and then you switch to their braking point and go, oh, I was faster through there. Or
and it might not
you
be.
You can have it the other way where you brake and go, oh shit, that's fucked.
Yeah, well, I was going to say, look, I mean, it may not be like braking later, it might be braking earlier that's allowing you to go faster. If that's alright, trying to make the move. Is that probably Gary, Rich Blues, sorry, ahead of Demon R? Rich Blues ahead of Demon R. Demon R may have just put Rich Blues into the barrier, and Conrad has made the move. And so is SRI.
Yeah, I think for the Group 4s, I don't know, it's good to see Gary and Rich battling, and it's good to see the Group 4s keeping up, but I don't know if it's a hindrance to the people that are driving the Group 4s tonight, because it's changing constant, because it'll end up so close to Rich and Gary, and you sometimes get caught up in a mistake, or you've got to try and avoid some action. So is it a hindrance, or is it just fun?
Well, I mean, so far it's exciting, we can say that. I mean, there hasn't really been any sort of crashes. Who's that there?
That's pretty cool.
Is it? Oh, right.
Yeah, it says it there on his door.
I thought his race was over at the start.
That's usually. Was he doing in second place?
Well, I mean,
when was the last time he was in second place?
Well, about 12 laps ago. Nelly's dropped back a little bit, but to be fair, Nelly's pace is very consistent, as is Jimmy's. Consistent, not as quick as the other guys, but I think Jimmy's struggling a little bit with a couple of the corners. But again, well, not again, for the first time I'll mention it, this is a track we don't drive on very often, so for those that don't really get to practice, Jimmy! I thought he nearly saved it.
That must be a teammate thing going for the bar.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, so those that don't get to practice, it's a track you don't really know, so that's why Rich and Gary struggling so much through this particular sector, especially with the fact that the Group 4s can go through there pretty much flat out. Doesn't make it easier for them. That's alright, trying to make it, but Demon R just tanked the back of Gary. Demon R's off on the inside. SRI's through, and Gary has to recover.
Yeah, that's exciting racing to be watching here with the way it's working out. Conrad struck back as well. Did something happen to Conrad?
I think he might have ended up tagging the barrier. Maybe something to do with Demon R tagging the back of Gary into the barrier. Perhaps getting gathered up in that. Yeah. I mean, one thing I will say is for the champions in the Group 4s. I mean, we're seeing side by side and we're seeing overtakes. We're not really seeing sort of dive bombs, are we? We're not seeing, oh, I've caught up, so I'm just going to throw it up the inside here. It's still, it's calculated, attempted overtakes what I'm seeing.
Yeah, and like Demon R would have a wee bit more boost than SRI, so Demon R could come right up, but like here, but he's not. He's braked earlier than SRI and Conrad, so yeah, it's I think the first race everybody's just learning.
Oh, that was a big hit there. Rich, unfortunately, a big sideways moment, and yeah, nowhere he could go, nowhere SRI could go. Is that Gary slowing down? That is Gary slowing down.
Oh, they must have had contact. This is going to be interesting.
Well, yeah.
With them. And there's also SGP there behind Rich Blues.
Yeah.
Oh, Rich Blues isn't. No, he's going for it.
Yeah, well, we know that the team orders between those two is sort of get on with your own race, isn't it? The interesting thing now, though, is the leading Group 4 car's not going to get a boost, and that is Conrad. As Demon R, SRI, side by side. Here comes Rich Blues around the outside. He may struggle in the corner, though, as Demon R has gone deep. Conrad has.
Yeah, and where's Steve F1?
No, Steve F1 has dropped a long way back. It's formerly Gary looking inside.
Long time ago. Steve F1 came round turn 1.
Damn. Stick to your knife, John. Stick to your OnlyFans. Okay, so
I don't have any fans.
Oh dear.
I'm a bit like you. I have a one viewer count.
Yeah, one viewer, and it's myself to see if there's anybody putting comments in. Okay, so we've got this lap, 1 to go. This lap and 1 to go, I should say. Now that formerly Gary and Rich Blues have got back ahead, the Group 4 guys are going to have to boost. We've got Conrad, SRI, SGP, Demon R battling it out in the Group 4s. And I'm hearing that Steve F1 has had technical issues with his wheel coming off in his hands. So all formerly Gary flashing his tic-tacs, trying to put Rich Blues off over the bridge.
Well, I do say that I've only got one view, but
big spinneroonie! Oh dear. I think Gary may have got into the barrier. I don't know if that affected Conrad behind him, but Conrad also got into the barrier and then ended up sort of sliding across the road into the side of another car, and around he went, and I think he's had another off as well, the entry to the back straight. I was going to say
and back at 1.8 key views on shorts.
Wow. Oh, Gary with a big slide through the exit of the hairpin.
We're coming up to start the last lap for the Group 4s, the Group 3s. Most of them will be on it, but SRI, they're going to...
Well, we're looking at SGP. SGP's ended up in the barrier. Don't know if there was contact from Gary there as SGP now trying to go up the inside of Demon R, but he's into the barrier as well. SRI trying to make a bit of a contact. We cursed it a lap ago. That's what I was going to mention. Conrad, Demon R hasn't pitted and his tyres are fine. Conrad has pitted and his tyres are about as worn as Demon R's are now. So I think Conrad had to pit in this race. Unfortunately though, he's a little bit off the back of these guys, as on the pack cam that is Steve F1, so he is rotating around the circuit, but with his technical issues he is a long way back. He's actually got Critical closing in on him as Demon R, SRI and formerly Gary side by side down the hill. 3-4 different lines being used here. Demon R round the outside of SRI, a little bit of a touch. as they make their way on to the bridge. Oh, and SRI's binned it! Can't park there, mate.
Did he been there? Did they get pit manoeuvred?
Well,
Did we see Critical coming over the line? Fantastic, great one. Steve F1's pulled over to let him pass. Oh, here comes Nelly. Is it going to get him? Yes, he's going to get him. Keep it for the last corner, Nelly. Don't pick it up.
Oh, he's into the barrier! What are you doing, Nelly? Go! Go! Can Arpal get it back? It's close! Nelly's held on just. Pat Camp's busy with Rich and Gary, I think, as Jimmy headed into the final corner. So Jimmy's going to be 4th place. We've then got, formerly Gary and Rich Blue sliding as they come into their hatred corners.
And SGP's in the lead of this Group 4s, which won't do SRI any favours.
Oh, SGP nearly got up the inside of Rich Blues there. Can Rich do anything about Gary? Can Gary get round the corner without any dramas? Oh, they've both tagged the wall, but Rich has tagged it harder.
Jimmy's sitting on 9. He's just crossed the line.
I'd
laugh if he fucked up. Here comes Conrad.
Yeah.
And there's SRI and Demon R after their moment.
Yeah, and I am hearing, Demon R had a wobble on the apex curb that Critical is just passing now. There's that bump. Ended up spinning SRI around. Massively unfortunate at the end there. But once again, what a race. Absolutely fantastic. And for the first time, I think, in this championship, Artpal isn't the winner. The race winner is Critical. And now he can say his race is over.
Who can say that, sorry?
Critical.
Yeah, because he crossed the line in first place, yeah.
Absolutely, yeah. But yeah, now, I mean, in a way, it's a bit of a shame. We didn't really get to see much Critical after he got past Artpal, and Artpal had a bit of a moment. But sometimes that's the way it goes. And maybe for Critical, I mean, I don't remember seeing him make an error in this race. And maybe that's the key for him, a bit sort of like Vettel used to be. If he gets a chance out in front, he'll be smoother, calmer, more consistent. It's when he's surrounded by all those other silly drivers that things tend to go a little bit wrong, and that's understandable, because if you're battling with cars all the time, you can't really get into a rhythm, and you never know exactly what is going to be happening.
Yeah, Critical with pole position, so good lap time he put in there. He just didn't get a start that I think he wanted to. Maybe, I don't know the difference between the Corvette and the BMW off the line. Is like, you know, SGP's Viper when if he qualifies in front of all the Group 4s, he shoots all the way back.
The Viper, the Group 4 Viper is awful off the line. So, I mean, it is possible that Artpal's Corvette is nicer off the line. It could just be that Artpal timed getting off the handbrake a little bit quicker. But, I mean, let's face it, Critical did have pole position and did take the victory. So we might as well go and have a look at them. Go on.
And he also thought that he backed out of the actual lobby because he was holding a handbrake before we went to track.
Yeah, the thing is, I've done exactly the same thing.
Oh yeah.
It's just automatic. It's like, okay, hold the handbrake, and then you watch that cursor and the noise where it goes dink, and it's on the exit bit, and then your screen goes black, and you're like, oh no. But yeah, you're heading over to the track on this occasion. Luckily, I mean, it's thoughtful. Can you remember what the protocol is let's say, for example, Critical had accidentally exited the lobby, what would the protocol have been in that situation?
Now you've got me thinking, because I know, well, because I never picked up when I had to start from the back, as it would be. So, I think it would have had to start from the back.
Absolutely, yeah. We would have restarted the race because we hadn't got
Yep.
to the race yet. And
Yep.
yes, it would have started from the back because a restart of the race because of an error by a driver, like we had with SRI recently, sending us all off to do the race and him not being at the track. So we would have restarted and he would have started from the back, which then, would have brought in a question we've never had before, which would have been, would he have kept his pole position point?
Oh, that's interesting. You bring that up.
Hmm.
What would?
Because the cynical would
'Cause-
say no, because he's not starting on pole. But some say, but he got pole.
and fucked it.
Mm.
Yeah. Oh, that's interesting. I'm not too sure.
It's
You've got pole, but then you've not got pole, so you've gave pole away. So, wow,
But then
that's
when
something for the admin.
well, when qualifying ended and that session finished, he was top of the times. Could be one argument. Another could be, yeah, but he didn't start first.
And our argument could be that qualifying and race isn't usually done on the same day.
There is that as well.
In real life, and it might be something like we try to bring out. We try to get as much real life racing rules that we have. Try to keep them simple, but yeah, that's interesting. That'd be a question we'd have to ask the admins and then come back to that for next week.
Yeah, it's a very interesting point, and I could easily see there being a number of different viewpoints on it. So while we ponder on that one for a week, let's take a look then at the confirmed race result, because I believe there has been no reports placed. So Critical,
No reports, please.
No reports. So Critical taking the victory, maximum 20 points plus 1 for pole position. Obviously, it was a hypothetical if it had exited. The other part of that would have been actually, if Critical would have lost his point, would that have meant that second place would have been given that point? Okay. Second place here, though.
Qualifier.
It's an interesting potential conversation, so yeah, let's see. So second place was Nelly, with Art Powell losing it in the last couple of corners. So 17 points for him. That will have helped him massively in the championship standings, bearing in mind that he, Jimmy and Rich Blues were all tied on the same points coming into this race. Art Powell, his worst finish of the season, third place. Anything other than first would have been his worst finish of the season. Jimmy, fourth place. Bit of a gap between the cars ahead and the cars behind, so a bit of a lonely one for him. 13 points. Formula Gary, fifth place. An action-packed race. Perhaps not his most enjoyable race, because it was a difficult one. 12 points for him. Rich Blues in sixth place in that battle from start to finish with Formula Gary on 11 points.
Yeah, and with I wanted to make a point with Gary's race. It wasn't like he was hitting people or anything. It was just little mistakes he was making. Was making it a bit tougher for him. And same with Rich Blues. Their driving was great when they were around the pack and coming through the pack every time. So well done, guys. It would have been a hard race.
Yeah.
And then, sorry, excuse me. So in 7th place on the Group 4s, we've got SGP with 10 points. And then 8th place, Conrad with 9 points. 9th place, SRI with 8 points. And 10th place, Demon R with 7 points. Steve F1 with 11th place with 6 points. Jason didn't race and Bob didn't race.
Yeah, absolutely.
So why do they get points?
They haven't.
It says 5 and 4.
I know.
You picked that up.
I've just noticed. That should be a DNS and a
Yeah.
DNS and a DNS for Twilight. So my apologies. Yeah, Jason and Bob haven't got an extra chunk of points for not racing today. It's just a clerical error, that one. I don't know. Only got 12 jobs to do. Yeah.
And SGP with a double pit stint.
Yeah. Well, it made it work for him. Obviously, helped a bit on the last lap with Demon R wiping out SRI. But also, I mean, Steve F1 having his technical issues obviously put him out of the fight as well. But SGP, I believe, is leading the driver standings for the Group 4s. But we will take a look at all of the championship standings now. So, Art Pow leading the way. He now doesn't have a full whack of points. So, still first place, 138 points. He's now 41 ahead of Nelly, who is solo second place on 97 points. Critical, with the win and the bonus point, has jumped up, I believe, from 5th up to 3rd place, only 1 point behind Nelly now. And then we've got Jimmy, drops down to 4th place, 93 points. And then in 5th place is Rich Blues on 91. But only 6 points between Nelly and Rich Blues. So still everything to fight for in the last 2 races of this championship for those 4 guys in those positions. Now, I'm not completely discounting Gary, but to get into that fight, he would need to win both of the last races. It could happen. You never know.
Yeah.
It could happen, and if it does, I don't think there'd be anyone happier than us to watch that happen. But with...
Harry.
well, yeah, absolutely, he'd be happy. Well, what I was going to mention was, I mean, at this point, Art Pal isn't the champion. If at the end of the next race, the gaps are similar, he will be the champion. The last thing Art Pal needs is a no-show or a disconnection, because if that happens, it then puts pressure on for like the final race. But so to a degree, go on.
What's his address?
I'm not telling you. Yeah, but so for Art Pal, the next race, I mean, it's an interesting one. It could go at it cautiously and just finish in 5th or 6th place and you win the championship potentially. Or he'd do the one I'd suggest, which is do what he's been doing the whole of this championship, go as quickly and consistently as you can, and if it allows you to win the race, great. If it doesn't, he doesn't need to go risking anything to win the race, because he can win the championship at the next race. So, yeah. I wouldn't want to see him do a Senna at Monaco and go too slow and end up in absolute disaster. So anyway, that's up to 5th place. So what have we got from 6th down then, right?
Oh, we've got SGP in 6th, Group 4, leading Group 4, 66 points. And then 5 points behind him is SRI in 7th with, 61 points. I may as well just do Gary while I'm fucking here. 8th place is from Gary.
Oh, you've asked his permission. If you're going to do him, at least buy him a drink.
No, that's too expensive.
Well,
I'll wait till he's sleeping.
That's true, yeah. Wait till he's asleep, Jesus. Oh, Jesus.
8th place with 59 points. And then Demon R, 8 points away with 9th place, 51 points. Steve F1, 10th place, 45 points. He's missed. Did he miss a
He
race?
did.
Or two?
He did.
Uh,
Yes, he did miss a race, and he
and the
did,
DNF.
yeah, DNF'd the first one as well. But yeah, he was
We
working for
got
another one, wasn't he?
yeah, and we got Twilight, 11th, 41 points, and he was away on holiday this week. I think he's coming back with some good news, or I don't know if it'll be good news. He's engaged.
Is he? I don't. This is news to me. Has he told you that's what he's going for?
Nah, I'm taking the piss.
The thing is, if he comes back now and says, "Oh, guys, we're getting married,"
That's why you went on holiday.
well, we'll come back to this in a minute because there's a brilliant story I can tell you. It's nothing to do with Twilight, but anyway, carry on.
12th place with Jason. I don't know if that's the right points. If you gave him points in the.
No, they haven't been given on this screen. This screen is correct.
Okay, 12 with 40 points. Conrad, 13th with 39 points. He's missed first two races. He missed,
it was,
wasn't it?
Yeah.
And then Bob, we've seen twice out of the whole season, 14th with 12 points. And then we have Hey, where are you? With at 15th with 0 points, and there's still a seat available. So, guys, if you are interested and you like the racing, want to learn more, send us a message on Facebook, and the admin team will get in contact with you.
I'm going to test your movie knowledge now. Which movie is this next line commonly said? Do you want to know more?
Do you want to know more? I don't know.
I'll let you ponder on that. Okay, a couple of things I would love to see Formula Gary get ahead of SGP and SRI by the end of this championship. Also, as close as the battle is with those Group 3s from 2nd to 5th, obviously Group 4s, 6th and 7th at the moment, close. And then 9th down is close. I mean, it's... The theory of this championship has actually, I think, worked quite well so far. The points are close, there's battles that are close, it's something very different, and that's definitely one of the features of Dynamic GT League. Now, before we do go on to take a look at the team standings, whether Twilight has gone on holiday to ask a question or not, I don't know. But it did make me wonder, it made me remember a conversation I had with my mother the other day. I was just about to leave theirs, and we'd been chatting, and my mum, she's got a good sense of humour, and
That she has.
yes, and as I was saying my goodbye words to the dogs, because if I don't, then they moan for me, but if I have a conversation with them, then they know I'm not coming back, so they just go and chill out. It's really strange, but it works. So as I've sat there, or kneeling there having a conversation with the dogs, Mum sort of stands in the doorway and says, "Is everything alright with you, David? Are you happy?" I says, "Yeah, I'm good." She goes, "Okay." I said, "Are you alright?" She goes, "Yeah, things are better. At least I don't think I need to have a conversation with the doctor about assisted termination." I was like, well, no, because one, it doesn't happen over in this country, and two, you've got to hang around until I find a woman. To which the mother's response was, "Don't fucking do that, they're all mental." So yeah, to which she followed up with, "And I don't mean go for a guy either." Yeah, so my mother's advice is stay single. You'll be happier, basically. But yeah, so there we go. Right, let's take a look at the team standings. And still at the top of the pile is Art Pal and Twilight on 179 points. They've got a gap of 22 points over the Power Trips, but anything could happen in the last two races.
That kind of surprises me with the power trips being up that high.
But saying that, Rich has had some great results in this champ. He's had quite a few third places, hasn't he? I mean,
Okay, right.
It's only in the last two races where I think he's finished 5th or 4th and 5th, or 4th or 6th, something like that. So, yeah.
So what's been hammering trust in the speed? Because you've had Jimmy, like, up there as well.
Jimmy missed the first race.
Right.
But also, Demon R has had quite a few finishers near the very back. So Demon R kind of not bringing the points in really. I mean, so as an example, so of Power Trips points, Rich Blues has got 91 of them, and SGP's the leader of the Group 4s, and he's got 66 points. So together they've got a massive amount of points. Now Jimmy, he's got 93 points, but Demon R's only got 51. So Demon R kind of letting the side down there a little bit. Who's next in the team standings?
It's first in the speed. 4th place with 144 points.
Yeah.
Well, you talked about power, so I'm assuming that's what you're asking me. Is the next one is trust in the speed?
Who's next after them then?
BMW Fartlags.
Okay, so with
fourth.
them, how many points have they got?
136.
Okay, so 136 points, and that's Critical and Jason. Critical having 96 of those points, and Jason having 40 points. I'm trying to think though. Critical has missed a race, and Jason has missed a race now, so they could potentially have had a lot more points. But yeah.
And also, Critical wasn't getting on with the car to begin with, and then something snapped this week.
Yeah, that it has.
It's just like the second cog in the brains just clicked in and went, oh, okay, this is how we drive this car.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, let's see what happens at the next race. Who's next in the standings then?
4th place, Rod on your Nelly, 136, so tied. So they're tied kind of 4th and 5th. Well, it's 4th and 5th, but they're tied 4th. Which is Rod on your Nelly, which is Nelly and Conrad. Conrad missed the first two races. Nelly's had quite a couple of good results as well.
Recently, yeah. The first couple he struggled a little bit. But Nelly's got 97 points. So he's got one more than Critical. But Conrad's got one less than Jason. That's how they've ended up tied up.
Yeah. Yeah, and then in 6th place you've got Jag Tuwitz, 104 points, which is Steve F1 and Gary. Gary had issue after issue.
3 disconnections pretty much, wasn't it?
Yeah, and so that kind of hammered his points. Steve F1's had a couple of technical issues with his wheel.
Yeah.
Hopefully he can find a fix for that, especially since it's a new wheel.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we talked a bit about it. Did we talk about it last week? I can't remember. But yeah, I mean, I'm the amount of troubles that Critical's had with his wheel, and Steve F1 seems to be having with his wheel. It's kind of putting me off a little bit of getting a new wheel, because the only sort of full-on issue I've had with my wheel is, let's see, what was it? One time where I think my throttle stopped working.
You can buy the part to replace that.
It's already sorted. There was a silly issue that it basically just needed unplugging and plugging back in. And on my wheel, the shifters, talked about it before, the internal parts of the up and down shifts fatigue over time, but it's not a problem. but I've never had it where all of a sudden, like, none of the gears work,
You've got
or
nothing.
yeah, or there's no steering or whatever. I've not had like complete disconnection. Yeah, it does concern me a little bit about newer wheels, because I would expect newer wheels not to do that kind of thing. But yeah, who's next in the standings then?
You got 7th place, Hayraker and the Baby Maker on 61 points. We've only seen the Baby Maker, we haven't seen the Hayraker yet.
Yeah, absolutely. So all 61 points for SRI, which leaves the Ghost Racer 12 points. That being Bob. Hopefully, though, Bob, I mean, he did say yes, he could make this week, but he is expecting to be at the next 2 races. So we should be seeing more of Bob, which should be a good thing. Okay, Ray, what's the next track?
Blue
Ooh,
Moon and Field A reverse.
yes, it's
A tricky one.
yeah. We don't normally race it in this direction, in the reverse, which is one of the reasons why we're racing it in this direction. I personally really like it, but it's another track where I think the guys in the Group 4s are going to love being able to push their car around a few of these corners. The guys in the Group 3s are maybe not going to like it as much, because, let's see, the first 2 corners shouldn't be a problem. The sort of double apex hairpin shouldn't be a problem, but the left tight hairpin, that will be a problem for a few of the drivers.
The first corner after the right-hander banking, after just as you start, might be an issue. People with speed and not getting it slowed down. I reckon there's going to be a lot of offs at that corner.
Yeah, quite possibly, especially if we have Group 4s. Well, we shouldn't have Group 4s close to the back of Group 3s there, because of the nature of the straight before it. But I think a Group 4 can go round the banked corner flat out. I don't think a Group 3 will be able to go round it flat out and have time to brake for the real first corner.
Yeah, I'm more on the braking for that real first corner and getting it turned in. I think we're going to see a lot of people maybe have issues with that.
Quite possibly.
And then where else? After the double right-hander, that left-hander.
Yeah, that's
people they'll hit the apex, but if they drift out wide, there's no curb there. It's grass, isn't it?
Yeah, it's one of those where, because we're driving in the reverse, the temptation is to like tuck into the apex, get the power down, and drive away. But the track kind of tightens around the exit of the corner, so yeah, drivers are going to have to be a lot more patient around the apex there. It's a really simple fix, because it's one of those corners where if you just wait a bit longer at the apex before you get on the power, it won't be an issue to anybody ever. But if you get too eager, you'll get on the power and then suddenly realise, oh shit, I'm drifting off wide here. And yeah, as you said, there's grass there, and then you'll be spinning. The bit that's going to interest me the most, though, is, for anyone listening to this, you may not know the corners, but don't worry, next week you'll see them. It's the corners after that. There's like a 90 left, a kink right into the final corner. In the Group 4s, I think they may be able to take the 90 left nearly flat out, and then the rest of the lap flat out. Maybe not the last corner. Maybe a lift, but I think they'll be close. But the kink, the bits leading up to the final corner, I think the Group 4s will be flat out through there. I don't think the Group 3s will, but having said that, if I was in a Group 3, I'd be trying it in practice. Because if you can go through, like get through the 90 left, if you can then go flat out all the way up to the final corner, you will gain seconds on your competitors. But if the Group 3s can't do it, we could have a few Group 4s bump drafted a few Group 3s up to the final corner. And then we know the difficulty.
That section from the end of the double right-hander all the way to that right-hander kink before the last corner, that's going to be interesting between the Group 3s and Group 4s.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And also, I mean, obviously, no idea what the tyre wear is going to be like for all of the cars because of with the banking, the bumps at the final corner. Tyre wear could be an issue, which, depending on how many Group 3s turn up, if all of the Group 4s have got boost, pitting may work, it might not work. There's only one way to find out, and that's to join us for all of the action next week. So on that one, Ray, I'm going to say thank you very much for joining us on commentary.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure, as every week is. Even with your shite jokes, but
Hey, I've not had any. I've done none today. I haven't researched any. I haven't looked at my phone to find any. All of the jokes that I've made today have been genuine, 100% Dave made, which is probably why they've been worse than ever. But they've been spur of the moment. They haven't been premeditated. So, actually, the funniest thing I've said today is the fact that my mother said basically stay single.
And thank you to the guys, the drivers especially. They make the league what it is. Even though if times get hard, just we're always here. We can talk to you. Could be a listening ear, or if you need a little bit of time off, take a little bit of time off. Don't
suffer in silence.
Real life comes first before gaming. So, what else? And yeah, I can't wait to see what next season's going to be like.
Yeah, and something actually, I know the admins need to get together and discuss the off season. That will be happening in the very near future. I think part of what we're going to do is, I mean, we are going to be having a bit of a break, but we are also going to be doing some races. We're going to be doing some slightly different stuff. But over like the children's summer holidays, yeah, we're not going to be doing race videos or anything like that. So to give us a proper break from that, because I mean, when you think about it, even in the off seasons, as we've called it over the last couple of years, obviously we've still done videos and points and stuff for the races, like doing the Dirty Championships and stuff. So information about the off season will be coming very soon. Information about the next championship will also be coming very soon, and any information we have about up and coming games, driving games on console, will also obviously be discussed at some point, because there's always the possibility that a game could come along and sink Gran Turismo. And if Gran Turismo don't, as we've talked before, if they don't buck up their ideas a little bit with some of their content, a game, well, let's put it this way, if a game comes out that's got much more modern race cars and tracks we don't have access to on Gran Turismo, then Gran Turismo could be at risk of losing some following. Unfortunately though, they've already got our money. Which I must admit, right, okay, if there's one thing I said years ago, I'm trying to think which console it was, when Sony went to having digital games, I was never a fan. I always preferred to have a disc that you can put in. I still do prefer that, because at least if you didn't like the game, you could sell it.
Yeah.
But
Might be a discounted price, but you'd get something back, wouldn't you?
exactly, you could still get something back. Whereas with the digital version, there's no getting anything back. But yeah, I mean, maybe I should have brought Gran Turismo on the disc version, but I'm pretty sure when Gran Turismo was being released, I think the disc version was considerably more expensive as well. To try and, yeah, because they were basically saying obviously they'd have to manufacture that,
Yeah.
so it was more expensive.
And that's what everybody's going digital, and it's harder. It's harder to get your money back.
Yeah.
So like, I think Steam's got like a 2 hour window. If you don't like the game, you can request your money back.
Oh, well, that's handy. It's just a shame Steam's not on the PlayStation then.
Yeah.
But yeah. Right, okay, enough drivel from us. Yeah, come and check us out next week to see how we get on at Blue Moon Bay, Infield B, I think it is called. Right,
Infield A,
is it Infield A or is
reverse.
is it Infield A reverse or is it Infield B?
Now you got me bloody questioning my what I checked up for. You're a bugger, you.
Yeah. So that's something else we'll clarify.
Infield A,
Reverse.
reverse.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
Alright, no problem. Right, thank you everybody. If you know what to do, hit like, subscribe, smash that notifications bell, and we'll see you all again soon.